That's the best part of it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Rewind. Me and Anish, first and foremost, going to take our victory lap from WrestleMania predictions, and then we're going to give you our Backlash predictions and talk a little bit about these recent WWE releases, man. So first and foremost, Swami, well done on Mania. You want to tell everybody what your record was?
Listen, Chris, first of all, it's a team effort. All right. It's a team effort here. Okay. We went 12 for 13 on our picks, man.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, pretty damn good. The only one we missed on was Randy Orton, which by all accounts, I feel like was the original plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then with McAfee ending up backing out and all that, they probably just swerved. So,
well, and also that's what you can always say. Like, if we miss a pick, we'll be like, that was the original plan.
Yeah.
Duh. Everyone knows that.
Triple H listened to our predictions episode and said, no. We can't let you guys go 13 for 13.
Yeah, dude. If we'd gone 13 for 13, we would have blown up, you know? Can't have that yet. They got to have us under his thumb. But yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome. Well done on our part. Mainly your part, the Swami, dude. Swami's going to Swami, man.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about the slew of WWE releases. We know this. Unfortunately, it's WrestleMania season. At this old trucking company I used to work at, they used to do it like a week before Christmas, the same thing where they would just fire people because they were heartless bastards.
Mm-hmm.
But this is we've come to expect it. After WrestleMania, you're going to get some releases, man. The first two, the big ones, I think, and this will maybe digress us off into a side conversation, was Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, and by all accounts, they basically just tried to gut their money.
Yeah.
And they said no and left. Have you heard anything else on that?
No, that's pretty much everything that I've heard. Basically asked them to take a pay cut when they just signed a new 5-year deal last year. And I think I saw something today that they were saying that I think the original plan was because they didn't have any plans in the near future for the New Day, that they asked them to take a pay cut so that they can make sense of the money that they were getting, and then just kind of end up retiring and go off into the sunset with a handful of matches here and there, right?
I would tell them, I'd be like, that sounds more like a creative problem and not an us problem.
Yeah.
We just signed a 5-year deal, guys. So
on a side note, if they end up going to AEW, that might be like the best tag team division
over there. You could have them versus like FTR and them versus the Young Bucks, and there's a lot of matches that write themselves there. So I hope if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. My thought always is the New Day made so much money with their merch and that, what was it, like a 10-year run? It was crazy. So they seem like they're pretty smart with their money. So I think it was one of those, they could walk away if they wanted to walk away, and they did.
Yeah.
And obviously big fans of both of theirs. So hopefully I would prefer them to continue to wrestle. It would be awesome. But I guess, we'll see what the future holds. The big thing for me on this is TKO's not coming out looking like roses on any of these. And I know, like, when releases happen, we're always going to speculate, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. But the cat out of the bag, if it's true that they asked them to take a pay cut, and then, even when we're talking about Backlash, dude, there's rumors that they're, asking other people to take pay cuts. And we're like, we've seen the ticket prices, guys. Like, we've seen the revenue reports. Like, it's not, I know it's business and you want to keep, earnings up, blah, blah, blah. But I said it before and I'll say it again, dude. WWE is not UFC, and you can't run them the same way. It's not going to work.
Yeah, you're not going to get any sympathy from me when you're boasting about record sales and record gates and record revenues from WrestleMania weekend, and then you cut a bunch of people just because you didn't think they were worth being paid.
Right.
Or whatever the case may be. So you're not going to get any sympathy from me on that aspect. But yeah, I don't know, man. They're definitely not coming out looking great. Apparently there's a rumor, which I think there's more legitimacy to this rumor, that there was a quote unquote WWE superstar that was being pushed currently that was asked to take a pay cut, and they took the pay cut because they probably didn't have any other options, right?
Right.
They don't know who they haven't named who that was yet, but we can speculate all day on who we think that might be. But so the pay cut thing, I think, is legit. I think they are asking stars to take pay cuts
Well, because in the in the '90s and early 2000s, until more or less the WWE Network became a thing, you never really knew what you were making. Like,
Yeah.
you had a downside guarantee, and then you're getting paid on the house and on the pay-per-view revenue and all that fun stuff. And now it's guaranteed contracts, kind of like pro sports, like you got guaranteed money, but it doesn't sound like it's that guaranteed when they're like, yeah, you want to take a pay cut? And you're like, no. And they're like, okay, you're fired. Like
Yeah.
WWE superstars, wrestlers in general need to, figure out this union thing that they've been talking about forever. Like, where it's like,
Yeah.
guys, that you're not an independent contractor. There's absolutely no I can't have a guy go do my roof and I'm like, hey, you can't do anybody else's roof, only my roof. So like that's
Yeah.
an independent contractor. That's a whole nother conversation. But I'm afraid TKO may force that those talks again if they keep doing this.
Yeah, dude, TKO is so tone deaf to everything
Yeah.
that's out there. I have a point with that, but I was gonna say, going on the last point, I guess the good thing about being cut nowadays is that there are options out there, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many other options. Even the indie scene is um, much more sophisticated and more nuanced than it was even 10 years ago, right? Where you can go through the indies and make a name for yourself and get noticed, and
And you can make a lot of money in the indies
exactly,
and
right?
in Japan. And you can go to AEW
Yeah.
with ATM Tony Khan, and he'll pay you. But it's to your point. There's a lot more options for guys. A lot of guys like some of the other names. Aleister Black was one of the ones that was released. I guess him and his wife, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Zelina
Zelina
Vega.
Vega.
So the option I've heard for him is New Japan, which I think he would be a stud over there. Could instantly come in as a top guy, could, benefit both people with that. But I don't know, man. These releases seem to hit different for some reason. Maybe it's the Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston part of this. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, by all accounts, everybody thought they were going to be lifers, right?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I think there was no doubt about that. That if you could pick anybody on the roster outside of, like, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, I think you would probably pick the
Yeah,
New
it's gotta
Day
be
as
him,
being
yeah.
lifers, right? So, yeah, I think that one, and honestly, the Kyrie Sane one kind of shocked me too,
Dude,
because she
yeah.
was in it, like she was in a top flight storyline.
Yep.
Like, so that one made no sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
because the reasoning they gave for a lot of these were, well, we didn't have anything planned for them, and it just didn't make sense budget wise. But Kyrie Sane was in the thick of it.
And
So I don't know.
that wasn't a budget wise thing. Like, I mean, when they're talking
Yeah.
budget, I mean, like, what are these people making compared to, like you pointed out, your Mania weekend record, blah blah blah?
Yeah.
Like,
There's pennies on the dollar,
dude.
at that point.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
so, I didn't get the Kyrie Sane one either. I kind of understood the White Six that kind of floundered.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was it was cool visual. Doom from Jump Street. I think some of the MFTs or whatever that
Yeah.
got let go. Which, I mean, who was let go from them? It was
Jeff Cobb, JC Mateo, and then Tama Tonga, Botch City, Tama Tonga.
yeah, I know Jeff
Or
Cobb's awesome.
sorry, not Tama Tonga, Tongaloa.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Jeff Cobb's awesome. I've actually got to meet him. He's a super cool dude and an amazing worker. They really
Mhm.
kind of, I mean, I guess not really dropped the ball. I don't know. That just didn't work out the way they thought it was. But
Yeah.
he'll land on his feet for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So, but any other releases you wanted to talk about from
I think-
that slew?
Yeah, I think those are the only releases that I can, out the top of my head. Those are the big ones. Obviously, Aleister Black, the White Six, Kyrie Sane, the New Day. Those are kind of the big names out there. I did want to mention, though, we were talking about TKO and how they're just not doing any favors for themselves. And a lot of this is also on, like, Mark Shapiro, the president, who keeps doing these interviews that doesn't make him look great. I think there was another interview that came out yesterday or something like that, where he was asked about how fans are complaining about the commercials and all that, like how there's so many freaking commercials, dude.
Yeah.
Like, even when I go to watch a replay of a PLE, I got to sit through 5 minutes of commercials in between the breaks, and you can't skip them. And it's like, it's so annoying. But someone asked him about that. He's like, we will always and forever, take fan opinions into consideration. But then he hit the but. At the same time, we got to look at revenues and working those things in. So you really don't listen to the fans, is what you're telling me in the same sentence.
It's weird because wrestling, wrestling's relationship with its fans is unlike any other entertainment industry with its fans. And I mean that down to the talent. Like, you never, if you're an NFL player, if you're an actor, actress, you never would hear those people be like, fucking marks.
Yeah.
Like, wrestlers forever hated fans, it seems. Like, the people that were paying them, they didn't really, but some of them did. I worked with some of them that did, that get annoyed. I mean, fuck, I got annoyed with some fans and stuff. And it's like, dude, these are the people paying to see you. You have to have that moment with yourself. But this industry seems to ignore fans more than any other industry in the entertainment business, to me. Like, and that's pro sports included. I mean, a lot of times when there's outrage with certain NFL rules or how they're doing something, like, enough people complain, they change it, like any other sports, or, in a movie, if something's going on, enough people complain, they change it. Wrestling's always like, we're sticking to the plan. We know what you like, which, to a point, I guess you can't have like the tail wag the dog, but it's just a weird relationship between wrestling and wrestling fans.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense from a storyline perspective, right? Like, they get paid the big dollars to think of stories out in advance,
Right.
months and years out in advance. So that's, that all in all, whatever, you can say whatever you want about that, but say what you want about Vince McMahon. I know we mentioned this on this podcast before, but he, from a business perspective and giving the product access, like giving the fans access to the product at ease, he was always like a forefront proponent of that. Like, he would never change ticket prices.
Yeah, that's
like he would never price out families, because he knew that the families were the ones that were paying the bills.
Yeah, exactly. That is one thing, and I won't go into it because I don't want this video to get shadow banned, but there's an interesting Chappelle stand-up bit about this with Bill Cosby. I'll let you guys connect the dots. But, man, yeah, I mean, it's a bad look when you look back at Vince or whatever. And again, like, I keep making the UFC comparison, but the UFC and WWE audience, well, there is crossover. I'm crossover. I enjoy UFC. Like, but it's not a 1-for-1. And also, the people that go to UFC events and the people that go to WWE events are not the same people, and they don't have the same pockets. So, like, you keep kicking these prices up, you're going to alienate your fan base eventually, and then people are going to stop going.
Yeah, because let's be honest, UFC as quote unquote Neanderthal of a sport it's an elitist fan sport.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, the elites, like the high making dollars celebrities, they go to UFC.
It's our boxing from, Tyson fights and Holyfield fights in the 90s, Ali fights before that. That's UFC is ours for this generation, right?
Yeah.
So it's the high dollar, Lakers games back in the day, where celebs were at. This is what this is. And you're right. And so you can have, I mean, the president of the United States that goes to UFC. We're having one on the White House lawn, like backyard wrestling. You have, it's just a different clientele. And I think that they did end up bringing Mania tickets down a little bit, didn't they? Which, by the way, if I'd already paid, boy, would
I'd be
I've
looking
been
for
mad.
a refund, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, give me the difference back,
man. Dude, so, all right, man, we'll step down from the soapbox. Let's get over to Backlash, dude. I guess since we're getting over to Backlash, it's time, man.
It's time. Let me get the Swami hat ready.
Swami hat on with the almost damn near 100% prediction. We'll go through our predictions, and I promise everyone listening, I haven't looked yet, but I do have betting odds up, which unfortunately basically tell you what's going to happen. So I will look at those and tell you those after we do our picks, man.
Yeah.
So let's start this one off because this is a 5-match card?
Yeah, very short card.
So who you want to start off with, Swami?
Let's start off with, I think, the match that's probably going to steal the show. Io Sky versus Asuka.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be an absolute banger of a match.
Agreed.
Mean, you don't need, there's so much history with these two. There's so much story with these two. Like, you don't really need too much of a build up. It's unfortunate they didn't get on the WrestleMania card, which there was definitely a spot for it. They could have put a spot for it in it.
They could have given them a total of 3 minutes like every other match on the card.
Exactly. And they still would have cooked.
Sure.
Yeah. So It's unfortunate again, like we mentioned, the Kyrie Sane cutting happened because that probably would have played a big part into this. We probably would have seen a Kyrie Sane turn potentially at this event, things like that. But yeah, this one's going to be an absolute banger. 2 world-class athletes, 2 of the best wrestlers in the women's game right now.
Dude, and EO, by the way, like watching that behind the scenes WWE, I always forget the damn name of it, but the little documentary they've been filming, but she is just, bleeds WWE. Like, she will do anything and everything they tell her to do. So I pray for her health a lot of times, especially that lovely one where she dove outside of the ring. You see that clip?
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
damn. I hope she's okay. She seems to be okay, but this is, like you said, they're going to turn this one out. Are you leaning one way or the other? Because I'm going to be honest. I think like the fan favorite, you have EO go over. It's probably more of a better visual, with her finish to go over. But I could be talked either way on this one. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think, look, this is one of the rare instances where WWE's in a good spot where neither of these will get hurt by a loss. So they're in a good spot. They can go either way, but I think it's going to be EO. I think you got to give her the big W, especially after not being on the WrestleMania card. You got to have her have that moment. And it just makes sense with the way the story's playing out and all that. And yeah, you give EO the win. You can move her to bigger, greater pastures. Go back into the championship picture and then move on from there.
Yeah, I'm with you. And like you said, this is probably going to be match of the night. Which one do you want to go to next, man?
Let's go with Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker.
Okay, so
go ahead.
I was gonna. My thoughts on this is, really haven't. I guess this is Braun. Would this be Braun's first official match back?
Yeah,
since the injury.
Yep.
Man, I hope that kid can stay healthy. I say he's a kid; he would eat me for breakfast. But like, he's a young man. I just hope that I hope that he can stay healthy because the sky is the limit with Paul Heyman and him. What a treat this should be with him, Seth Rollins being able to, lead him in a match like this. I got it for me. I got to assume that you got to put Braun over on this one. And I mean, maybe Seth goes away for a little while after this. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to continue this feud or not. What are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, I think we're kind of on the same wavelength here. I think it's got to be Braun Breaker. You build him up. You give him the big spot of Mania coming back. You got to put him over. I mean, with Paul Heyman by his side, again, Seth can afford to take the L. I don't think Braun Breaker can afford to take the L.
That's true, especially coming back,
Coming back, and he was playing second fiddle in the Vision for such a long time. And they, before the injury, he was in the World Championship picture. So, to get him back there, you gotta give him the W. Also, side note, I know we're getting a little sidetracked here, but how much of a banger was that Seth Rollins Gunther match? Probably the highlight of night one.
Oh, for sure.
No build up, and they just put on an absolute classic.
And I love that they kind of started slow. They just they let that match build up because there's an old story with JBL and Eddie Guerrero that Eddie told, or that JBL told like on one of his podcasts. But he said that I think like Mysterio and somebody else just put on, more or less a 5-star classic before they were supposed to wrestle in the main event, and then JBL was like, "I can't do that stuff, Eddie. Like, how are we supposed to, like, how are we going to follow that?" And Eddie was like, "Just listen, just follow me out there." And they did some stuff where they milked a headlock early in the match for a while. But what they did was they let everybody come back down, but they used a match to do that. And then they ramped up to all their stuff and everybody was ready again. And it was kind of an eye-opening moment for me. I was like, I never thought of that. Like, yeah, that's pretty effing smart. Also, Eddie Guerrero GOAT.
especially if they're going to give you 15 minutes of match time, you have time to do that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Know?
So that was an eye opener for me. So, yeah, man, I'm with you on this. Which one's next?
Let's go. I'm going all out of order according to what the card is, but I'm just, going by whatever. I'm going to go with the comedic act for the night. Nice. We got Danhausen and a mystery partner versus Kit Wilson and The Miz.
So if you're pulling your mystery partner out of your back pocket, I have an idea for this one. And we'll see if it happens. I think somehow Danhausen gets Obafemi for just a squash good night nurse type situation. And it's because I assume this. I mean, I don't assume. I know this is your comic relief match. So this will probably be before your main event.
Yeah.
After probably after a banger. So you'll need, just something to breathe. But I figured something like that would be a real quick, easy plug and play. 3 minutes. Danhausen can curse and do whatever, and everybody goes home happy. What are you thinking in this one?
Yeah, I have no idea who the partner's going to be. To be honest, you can talk me into anybody. Obafemi, that would be cool. I think you could talking to anybody. I mean, Obafemi probably makes the most sense because he's probably your biggest star right now outside of the top guys, and
it gets him on this Backlash card.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think regardless, it's gonna be Danhausen, and whoever his partner is going to be going over. But you called it, dude. This is literally on Wikipedia, because Wikipedia, they usually are pretty good about the match order. Because they have sources or whatever. I don't know. But or whoever's putting it in has sources. But this is literally right before the main event, right after Io and Asuka.
Nice.
So you called it.
Sometimes got a little bit of stuff in here. Playing second fiddle to the Swami, it means that's not a bad place to be for me. So so I guess we'll go with the Trick Williams and Sami Zayn match. This will be a great match. Their other match was good for the time they were allowed. I guess gotta assume, probably as you do, Trick goes over. I don't see a scenario where Sammy wins this. Do you have any thoughts on where they're going with this? Is this the blow off, and then we're gonna go in our separate directions after this?
I think so. I think it's got to be. You can do with Sammy as a heel. You can go in so many directions with that.
He's so good as a heel.
Now you can even. I mean, even as a heel, you can input him back into the championship picture with Cody. There's so much history there, and now that Sammy's a heel, you can really just insert him in without any misbeat.
Dude, he can do everything. He's been goofy heel, diabolical heel. Goofy face, like blood and guts face, like dude, shout out him and Kevin Owens, man. I'm still fingers crossed one day they'll be able to main event WrestleMania for the world title. That's my dream for them. I'm sure that's their dream too, and I'm sure they're very happy that Chris from Chattanooga, Tennessee is like pulling for them. He's like, you know what, at least that one guy gets it, but I'm with you. I think you assume Trick goes over and then split it off and figure something out. What's next for Trick, man?
I mean, Trick, these NXT call-ups this last time around, not the right after Mania, but right before with Trick, Oba, and Javon Williams, they really hit it with these guys, man.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, you can really just, you can put Trick in any feud, and I think it's going to be a banger.
Yeah. I
mean, the logical one, I think, to run back would be Carmella Hayes, just because there's so much history there.
Yeah.
And that'd be a good SummerSlam feud. You can even add Ilya in there as a triple threat, because all three of them have history together in NXT.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one for sure. That and those matches would, amazing. So yeah, sign me up for that.
Yeah. Also, side note, did you see the clip of after SmackDown? They've been doing that gingerbread bit with Trick Williams, where they had like a guy dressed up in like a gingerbread outfit. Yeah. And like Sammy like destroyed the gingerbread guy, and Trick was just holding his head and he threw up the X.
Yeah.
Like after that was hilarious, dude. It wasn't on air or anything. It was just like a clip afterwards, but it was so funny.
It's funny as shit. Yeah. He's great on the mic, great in the ring. Like just an amazing talent. Let's go to this main event, because there's some potential. The result of this match may tell you some things going forward for WWE, man. So the main event is Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. And let's just get into the background rumors and everything. And maybe these rumors were started because let's just be honest. If this match is on paper with no context and you're like Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu, you assume Roman is going over 99 times out of 100. Now, the internet scuttlebutt is TKO is also requested Roman to take a pay cut. And so now when you've added that in, and that's why I was saying, I don't know if this is like maybe they started this rumor. I don't know. Maybe they're playing off the reality of whatever. But now you're like, oh shit, is Jacob Fatu about to win the title? Yeah. Like, so what all have you heard on the did you just hear that it's a pay cut issue or it's a pay issue?
Yeah. So, okay. So here's what I've heard. So part of my French, there's definitely some fuckery going on in the background, Chris.
Yeah.
So what I heard, because I try to stay in touch, like I try to stay in touch with all this stuff. You know, I'm trying to do good podcast work here.
Yeah,
Chris.
man.
Just trying to keep up with all this. Yeah. So initial reports were that they asked Roman to take a pay cut because of his part-time schedule, and I think he has like a $10 or $15 million contract or something like that. So they were like, it just doesn't, it's not justified the amount of dates you're working for the amount of money you're getting paid. So they asked him to take a pay cut. Rumors, allegedly, right? And then apparently he was taken off of all the promotional materials for the June Raws, which he was right, like literally 2 days before that happened. He was scheduled, like they announced him to be on all those dates. Now we'll say this: if there is one person at all in the WWE that can go back to TKO and say "fuck yourself," is Roman Reigns.
For sure.
Because that sale doesn't happen without Roman Reigns.
Look at what main evented Mania this year, guys.
Exactly. So if there's anybody that could do that and go back and say, "Nah, I'm good," and still get that contract and nothing changed, it could be Roman Reigns.
Right.
Now, since then, there's been WWE, I think, came out and said that it was like a clerical mistake that all his stuff was pulled off, but that doesn't make any sense. That you're not going to talk me into that.
No,
there's definitely some funny business going on in the background. So yeah, the result of this main event, I think, will tell us a lot, because if Roman drops the belt, doing his cousin one last favor before he's like, I'll just go home and collect my checks for now, and you guys can figure this out. Go to
Hollywood and go, make movies or whatever. Like, he definitely has options. Good looking guy. Street Fighter's coming out soon. He's already dipped his toe in the acting world. He kind of has a friend that may be able to help him out in Hollywood.
Yeah, he may know somebody. I don't know.
But so, I mean, this one, when they pulled him off of the promotional stuff, that's when I was like, there's the kayfabe, there's the maybe we're leaning into this rumor, and then there's like you're legitimately hurting ticket sales maybe. If Roman's pulled off a card, some people aren't going to go, at least in my opinion. And maybe these are events that were already sold out or whatever, and then they pulled him off as a wink and a nod to what's going on here, so we kind of have a surprise during this. I don't know. I find that pretty hard to believe. I feel like that's with TKO being so
money driven.
I feel like that's one of the things. So, and I mean, whether it's real or not, I mean, like we talked about in the past, our Mania, I think our pre-Mania show, there's a TKO heel figure begging to be had here in the storylines of WWE.
So much.
like
just give it to us, dude.
Yeah, please.
Just give it to us.
We'll play it. Bring us on. We'll take the pay cut.
Yeah, I'll take the pay cut. Yeah, shoot.
Whatever it takes, man. So, what's the gut say on this one with you?
My gut's still gonna go with Roman.
Okay.
Until something is legit and something like a legit source is reporting this news, I'm not gonna believe anything I hear. Do I like to feed into it?
Yeah,
of course I do.
Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah, of course I do. And any chance I can, fight back to TKO, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, for sure.
So my gut is still saying Roman, but I mean the fun move would still be to put it on Jacob, even if Roman is sticking around.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, I mean that would make everybody talk, and you could have Roman disappear, make a surprise return. You could really play into this, and that actually plays into his part-time schedule too, to where it would, storyline work out. I'm with you. I want to believe. I would love Fatu. Fatu is an amazing athlete, character. Everything about his presentation is he got in insane shape now. Dude, the dude's going to be, the dude is a star, and whenever they want to put the title on him, he's going to have a monster run with that title. So I want to believe, but I'm going to have to go with Roman on this one.
Yeah, same. Man, we were lockstep today,
dude.
Chris.
Yeah, I learned my lesson. I was like, I'm gonna stick with the Swami.
Yeah. This is gonna be the one show we go over.
I know it's gonna be.
It's gonna go over.
They finally got the podcast. They watched it, dude. So now that we've given everything that we've given, let me go through these odds that we have on here. So they don't have the Danhausen match on here. So with that caveat, Trick Williams -900. This
Mm-hmm.
is the interesting one. Seth Rollins is favored over Braun Breaker, but it's a minus 105 for Seth, minus 135 for Braun, which for those that don't know in the betting world, that's almost damn near even odds. So
Yeah, Braun being a slight favorite there.
slight so like that's just pretty crazy. Io Sky minus 900.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roman Reigns minus 900. So
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, man? If you got some money and you want to go to bet.USA and go ahead and throw a bunch on Jacob Fatu plus 500, man, let it ride, baby.
Yeah.
if you're feeling frisky. But as far as closing thoughts go, man, where do you think, or who do you think is the MVP of this PLE coming out of Backlash?
I think it's gonna be Io Sky.
Okay.
Yeah, or whoever wins that match, Asuka or Io Sky. But I think it's gonna be Io Sky.
Yeah, that's who I'm hoping is the MVP coming out of this.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can go chalk and say Jacob Fatu or Roman Reigns. That's just
Right.
the easy pick, but it's got to be Io Sky.
Yeah, I got high expectations for that match. So, guys, if you haven't already, be sure like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and remember next week, huge announcement. It's going to change the landscape of professional wrestling. So be sure to tune in for our next episode, man. And Anish, closing thoughts, man.
Let's have a good Backlash. Let's continue the momentum we got from night 2 of WrestleMania. Night 1 was a bummer. I'm not gonna lie, but night 2 was much better. So let's continue that momentum and let's keep fighting back to TKO, guys. Yeah. Let's not let them win, okay?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it, man. So, guys, we will see you down the road. Thanks for joining us.